Okay, collectors, I want to give you a heads up on this model because this is a problem. It's a problem between the seller and the manufacturer itself. I bought this model off this exact listing here on Aliexpress. The store is called Z Car Model Store. And it's listed as a 164 scale, RWB Porsche. It's like 18 plus 4, it's like $22. I wouldn't call that particularly cheap. It's definitely something I would notice missing from my wallet, 20 bucks. But anyways, so I just want to note here, they have 80% feedback. Nice photos, looks great and all, looks like a typical 20, even better than a $20 model. So that's why I ordered it. Down here, these are other models they sell. These guys are particularly selling models of diecast cars. So they are selling expensive ones, like this $60 PGM. So they know what a 164 scale model is. Alright? So this is what showed up in the mail. And it looks nice and all. So let's take it out of the package. I haven't opened it or anything like that. This cardboard here, RWB, officially licensed. And then it says here 164 scale. Mymodelcollect is the brand. And that's it. So it's nice that it's licensed. And it also does say it's 164 scale. So, to some uninitiated people, maybe they would think this is 164 scale. But to a seller that sells hundreds of other 164 scale models, should probably realize this thing is way too huge. So here's a TLV, which I'm pretty sure built 164 scale. And then the other one is a Kyosho. Let's open this guy up. I gotta give you the top view for you to really understand. Would you say that's a 164 scale model, this gray car? I don't think so. I mean, maybe if you're Shaquille O'Neal and you commissioned Porsche to make you a 911, this is possibly what Shaq would drive. But normal human beings, I don't think so, right? So naturally I opened up a dispute and I showed them pictures comparing other models like this. They wanted to give me half my money back. So I escalated the dispute, but I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't want to pay half price for something that I don't want. Okay, I'm back here. I will say it's nice that it has O-rings, so that helps keeps the screws from just falling out. It might also help prevent the tires from getting crushed if they're over torqued. There's nothing on the bottom of this thing other than some dust. Okay, so I did look up online here a Porsche 930's wheelbase, and it's supposed to be 2272 millimeters. Yeah, so divide by 40.92. 155 scale. So 155 scale to me is not remotely close to 164 scale. What do you guys think? I mean, this is just blatant misadvertising. This is a straight up lie. That is a straight up lie, and it makes me very frustrated. Alright. Let us continue on. Let's take a look and see how this thing is. I couldn't find, an exact photo of this car, which is rough out there. But looking at the front clip of this body kit, it does seem to match up. It's got, the rectangular inlets, although this is a black car, it's hard to tell. There's a little canard there, and a little depression here, so I think that matches. It's got these bullet type of mirrors, and it's got these 5-spoke wheels. I couldn't find any rear photograph as well that could match up, but this wing seems to be similar. It's just the exhaust here coming straight out. It does have these side ones, but I think it's pretty. It's got the little bumperettes here, and that does go inwards a little bit compared just like that. So that's as close as I could get the photographs to the real thing. All right, let's. All right, looking at this paint. So what is going on here? It looks like it's scratched or contaminated. Luckily, that's just some gunk. Alright, maybe I can just clean that off with a rag or a Q-tip later. It's just a gray, not metallic or anything like that. It's got some orange peel in the clear coat, you can see. Yeah, it's not the smoothest paint job. Yeah, on the top. The roof is the best, it seems, for the clear coat, but it's strange. I don't see much orange peel on the side of a car model, that is. I usually see it on the hood and the trunk, but I usually don't see it on the side, but this one definitely has it. Okay, going to the tires here. There's a lot of friction between the tires and the body itself, so you can just hear it, right? There's no chance at all of this ever rolling, which doesn't bother me because it won't roll off of a bookshelf either. We got the printing here. It looks like it's Tampo. I don't think it's a decal. I don't see any of the wrinkliness between the lettering, nor do I see like a clear edge. So I have to suspect that's a Tampo, which is nice. The silver body screw marks look pretty good. They're actually following the contours of the body quite well. I've seen a lot worse from other brands. So that's nice. The door handle looks pretty good. It's dimensional. And then we have reflectors there in the mirrors. Real reflective stickers, so that's good. The window trim has some black paint on it, and it's dimensional. You know, there's a little recess there. So that looks good too. The wheels here, they're painted gold. They have RWB printed on that one spoke. It's kind of strange that there's no lug nut details. They could have easily molded in 5 depressions or 5, things sticking up. So it's kind of lazy on the mold maker's part there. Looks like there's a disc brake system here. There's a caliper here, and it's a different color than the rotor. So you can see on the front, it's like a silver caliper, and the rotor itself is dark. I'm gonna guess it's like supposed to be a carbon ceramic rotor. Okay. Idlers or idlers, whatever it is that is spray painted onto the tires when it's an RWB car. Looks pretty good. Going to the front. So yeah, these little canard pieces here, they're very thin. I'm not sure if that's molded into the casting. I think it is. I don't see any sort of break. I think it's just painted black. It looks pretty good though. Chin spoiler, I think it's part of the casting. Looks good. But I'm wondering. No. I thought this might be a separate piece, but it's not. This is clearly part of the same casting. But here, why does it look like it's a separate piece? It's throwing me off. I guess it's just well cast, the little body crease. It's very well done. Alright, nice to see, this on the license plate. These are plastic inserted grills. Just the sound tells me that's plastic. It's nice to see separate turn signals. So that's great. The headlights look awesome. They got some ridging in there, and then some sort of depth behind it, and then this silver going around. So I think it's actually a clear piece of plastic glued into a molded chromed piece of plastic. So that's good. It's always hard to find a really good Porsche crest. Let's see. No. Oh, that's not a Porsche crest. I don't think. It's definitely not Porsche. Maybe it's an RWB logo. It's just like blobby. No, maybe that is supposed to be a Porsche crest, but it's not a very good one. I mean, to my understanding, it's more like a different colors, not that color scheme. These are really nice hood pin graphics, and I think that's a tampo again. I don't see any sort of decal edge. The headlight there, pretty neat. Okay, that's 4x magnification. Well, this is a nice touch. There's a little bit of black right here. You know, so that's really thin. They could have easily left that off. The wiper blades, I'm not sure if that's molded into the windshield. I think it might be glued down. I almost feel like that's a photo etch metal. See, you can see the lip of it. And it's glued onto the windshield. Yeah, see down here there's a little air gap. There's a tiny air gap right there. So I think this is photo etch metal glued onto the windshield. It's really nicely done. I like it. Two little bumps here for the fluid, I guess. Fuel filler gaps look good. Alright, this side. No problems. It's just a little orange peely, but that's not really anything to complain about for a model at this price range. I'm now noticing this door handle looks black, but what? I didn't see that on the other side. Right? Look at that. This is a gray door handle. That's a black door handle. So that's kind of a QC problem, don't you think, to have mismatched door handles? Alright, well, anyways, the wheels, tires, and stuff, I don't see anything majorly wrong. The mirror looks good. Let's get into the back here. Yeah, it's a clear, transparent tail light section, and it's actually got a texture on the outside, and some silver paint there. Looks good. The Porsche, I think that's on the surface, so I think that's printed on the surface. It's not on the back side. But I think on the back side there's silver paint back there behind this red plastic. Alright, nice license plate again. Now these exhaust tips, they are so thin and so concentric, I think those are metal tubes. You know, I don't think you can mold plastic that thin and perfect. So I suspect that's actually a piece of tubing glued on there. The wing here is very thin. It's got curvature. You know, it's molded nicely. There's little bumps here to represent the nuts holding the side plates on. Those side plates aren't too super thick. Defroster lines, well, I'd rather not see them. You don't see them on any real cars. But at least they're not very thick like I've seen on some Mini GTs. This is nice too. I think this is a piece of... It's either plastic or metal. It's a separate piece, I think. I can almost see like the gray through those slots. Or am I mistaken? I can't tell. I don't know. Actually, I think it is just photo etched metal and it's painted black. Alright. Going to the bottom, decent enough details. I'm curious. It is cool to the touch. For a second I thought this body was made of plastic. But I do think it is metal now. This base is plastic. Alright, it's nice to see that it's screwed together. And then, well, this is weird. Do you think a Porsche would come with tires that narrow? Not even a stock Porsche would come with tires that narrow, unless it was the very first Porsche, I think. I almost feel like this belongs to the front, and there should be something even wider back here. I mean, isn't that the whole reason why RWB exists? It's these over fender kits, right? To put wider wheels on. So I find this extremely odd that this is an officially licensed RWB product, and yet they don't actually simulate the entire reason why this RWB company exists. What do you guys think about that? Anyways. Okay, well, I guess the last thing to look at is the interior. I can see some silver and black on the steering wheel. There's a mirror, a rear view mirror hanging there in the middle. Molded windows, of course, so it's going to be distorted, yep. But I guess we'll get the flashlight here. Alright, look at that. Red seatbelt buckles look good. Oh, wow. wow, yeah, dashboard looks good. I mean, you got all those instruments. The steering wheel looks really good too, with the molded details and painted arms. So that's pretty nice. What about over here? Sorry, I got all my oily fingerprints on this thing. I feel like there's text there on the dashboard, but or those buttons, like that rectangle, thin rectangle. Look at those gauges, man, those are nice. Shifter looks okay. Seats have a grainy texture. The back seats, no, I don't think there are back seats. I think that's a transmission back there. No, are there back seats? It's hard to tell. I can't tell. Alright, well, pretty good interior. Nothing to complain about there. Well, so I would say, in summary, if you don't care about scale, then this is a great model. So if you look at the photograph in back, it's nice to see, you know, some 911 owners getting together, showing off their cars. But now look at the spinning diorama thing here in front of. Does that look like reality to you guys? I mean, come on. Let's just take a look again, not just the top view, but let's look at this wheelbase difference. Alright. Look at the size of the wheels, the wheelbase difference. I mean, this is just, it's not right. Not right at all. Okay, well. So what do you guys think? Should I get all my money back? Should you avoid that seller on Aliexpress? Yes, I would avoid them like the plague. Should you avoid this brand, Mymodelcollect? Mymodelcollect. Yes, I'm going to avoid this brand from now on, because I will never trust this brand again if it says it's 164 right there in the packaging, right? So they're just a liar, a bunch of liars, that company. It's real unfortunate because the model itself is actually quite nice. It's actually spectacular, especially for the price. The problem is, well, you know what the problem is, so. Oh, look at this. Is this thing open? No, it doesn't. This is a separate piece, this whole rear wing, you can see. But it does not open. So, oh well. Alright, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this thing. I don't actually have any friends that own a 911. I would give it to them, but I might have to just sell this one off. I don't really have a display cabinet set up for my Hot Wheels. This is actually the nicest Hot Wheels I've ever seen, now that I think of it. I used to think it was the Mini GT, what is it, Datsun 510. But no, if you want to have the nicest Hot Wheels ever made, it's this one. Okay. I'll see you guys around. Hopefully with something 1/64 scale.